Natural disasters are a great challenge for mankind, adversely affecting many fields of life. They destroy many buildings and houses, cause terrible property damage, and also take the lives of thousands of innocent people, causing many families to fall apart. One of them must be flash floods with terrible destructive power that nothing can stop. In this video, we will help you learn the 8 most terrifying flash floods caught on camera. Number 1. Flash flood in Spain. After several days of torrential rain, including hail in early July 2023, flash floods hit the city of Zaragoza, northeast of the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, leaving many pedestrians stranded on the streets along with their vehicles. The video was recorded on July 6 in Zaragoza after days of rain and even some hailstorms that flooded many streets. The fast-flowing, billowing water poured down the streets so quickly that many people could not keep up. In the video, it can be seen that many pedestrians have to hide on the roofs or cars or cling to tree branches along the road to avoid the fast-flowing water. Authorities here have not recorded any deaths after the flood. However, it is estimated that millions of dollars are needed to overcome the consequences of recent flash floods. Flash floods and heavy rains quickly washed away everything in their path. Many cars have even been swept into the Mediterranean Sea. Local firefighters had to use helicopters to rescue 3 people who were in serious danger, while many others were pulled from cars stuck in rising water. Other areas in central and northern Spain, including the capital Madrid, were also flooded. Spanish authorities have regulated traffic on roads and railways covered in mud and floodwater. It is known that Spain is seeing an increase in heavy rains and drought conditions linked to climate change. Number 2. Flash flood in Brazil. The video recorded the scene of torrential floodwater on a street in Brazil on February 16, 2022, including many places with serious landslides and damaged structures. The roads of Petrópolis were heavily flooded, washing away many cars, trees, and nearly everything else on the road. Many stores were completely flooded. It is known that a big storm has made landfall in Petrópolis, causing up to 258 millimeters of rain in 3 hours, nearly equal to the total amount of rain recorded here in 1 month. The city government has declared a state of disaster in response to the situation. In the Morro da Oficina area, up to 80 homes were affected. Fire crews and local civil defense groups were at the scene and were racing against time to find the victims. Those displaced have been taken to schools and safe shelters. More than 300 people had to leave their homes due to the impact of the disaster. Rescuers had to race against time to find survivors in the mud and rubble after a major storm. Authorities feared the death toll could rise as firefighters and rescuers dig through the rubble of houses swept away by mud, many of which are located in slums on the hillside. At least 21 people have been rescued and about 300 are staying in shelters, mostly schools. Charities are calling for donations of mattresses, blankets, food, drinking water, clothing, and masks for the victims. City Hall has declared a state of disaster in the city of 300,000 people, 68 kilometers north of Rio de Janeiro. At the same time, the city council announced a 3-day mourning period for the victims. Experts say downpours in the rainy season are increasing in the region due to the effects of climate change. Number 3. Catastrophic flash flood in Korea. The heavy rain that took place continuously in July 2023 has had a great impact on Korea. In some areas, the destructive power of mud flows could sweep away houses, cause landslides in mountainous areas, and hinder aid efforts. More than 6,400 residents in the Goasan region of North Gyeongsang province were ordered to evacuate as floodwaters overflowed the dam, inundating many neighboring villages. The Korean Interior Ministry also received reports of people missing who were swept away by the current when the river in North Gyeongsang province overflowed. In Cheongju Country, rescue workers were mobilized to rescue many cars and vehicle users submerged in the tunnel. Water overflowed into the tunnel too quickly, making it difficult for people to escape. Many people were trapped in the vehicle when the flood hit. The nationwide common rail system has been suspended, but the high-speed railway is still maintained. South Korean authorities also blocked many main roads and trails in national parks because of floods. Flooding caused power outages in many parts of Seoul, and people in low-lying areas had to evacuate. The video shows rescuers using ropes to lead people out of the flooded area. Many vehicles were severely damaged by flash floods. Number 4. Flash flood in Henan, China. Torrential rains with up to 200 millimeters in the morning of July 17, 2016 caused flash floods and landslides in the Gajang district of Henan province. The old wooden houses were unable to withstand the aggressive water. The rushing water overflowed, causing severe damage to the roads and making it impossible for vehicles to move. Severe floods have affected the lives of more than 95,000 people and forced more than 14,000 others to evacuate and relocate in Henan province. Torrential rains poured down on many areas here, causing direct economic losses estimated at 575 million yuan, about $79.5 million US. The urban area and towns around Beijing City were severely affected by incessant rains, with nearly 280 millimeters of rain in a row in 12 hours. More than 1,000 people from 12 towns in the city have been successfully relocated to safer locations. The local government has mobilized more than 3,000 people to help people in disaster areas with water drainage, dredging, decontamination and disinfection. In addition to mobilizing emergency rescue teams, officials also quickly issued severe weather warnings and urgently recorded and assessed landslides caused by the effects of rain and floods. Number 5. Terrifying flash flood in Turkey. After being devastated by earthquakes, two southeastern provinces of Turkey continued to be hit by floods on March 16, 2023. The Turkish Disaster Response Agency (AFAD) said that the search, rescue and rescue operations for the missing and trapped in the buildings were continuously taking place with the participation of divers and lifeboats. Heavy rainfall in the provinces of Samliurfa and Adıyaman has caused extremely severe flooding. Thousands of people in these two provinces had to live in tents and makeshift houses. Photos posted on social media and some local TV channels showed flash floods turning roads in these provinces into rivers, washing away cars, and flooding homes and shelters. Rescuers had to use ropes to rescue victims from flooded tunnels. Floodwaters flooded deep into the garages, trapping many people. A road was also broken in half due to the strong current. Some are trying to hold on to their possessions from the currents. The flash floods made it more difficult for people's lives and rescue work in two provinces that were severely damaged in the earthquake disaster last month. Number 6. Flash flood in Japan. Record-breaking rains have poured down on southwestern Japan in the early days of July 2023, causing floods, landslides, and many human losses. Due to the impact of the disaster, regions such as Kyushu and Chukogu were also forced to close roads, delay trains, and cut off water supplies in some areas. More than 420,000 people in Fukuoka and Oita have been told to evacuate. At the same time, more than 1.7 million residents in other dangerous areas were also asked to seek shelter. From the beginning of July 2023, the Kyushu region continuously suffered from heavy rain and recorded the highest rainfall record. The meteorological agency urged people to be vigilant, take measures to prevent landslides, deal with floods in low-lying areas, and prevent floods on rivers. Heavy rains caused landslides, disrupting traffic in many places. The video shows that flash floods have knocked down many trees and broken many roads, seriously affecting traffic. There are houses that have been damaged by landslides, only half of which are being repaired by relief work. Number 7. Flash flood in India. The monsoon brings South Asia about 80% of its annual rainfall and is vital to both agriculture and the livelihoods of millions of farmers. But it brings devastation every year in the form of landslides and floods. Melting glaciers add more water, while unchecked construction in flood-prone areas exacerbates damage. India is one of the countries hardest hit by this. Streets across the northern states, including in Punjab, Delhi, and Uttarakhand, were heavily flooded in early July 2023. In some areas, rescuers used rubber rafts to rescue people trapped in houses. A senior official of the weather agency said that many districts in Himachal Pradesh have experienced as much rain as a month in one weekend. The downpours washed away vehicles, destroyed buildings, and collapsed bridges in the worst-hit state of Himachal Pradesh. Due to heavy snowfall and bad weather, evacuation became very difficult. Authorities used helicopters to rescue people stuck on roads and bridges because of heavy rain. At least 12 people have been killed in neighboring Uttarakhand state, including one who died when boulders fell from the mountain and hit their vehicle, which was stuck on a highway. The capital, New Delhi, has also been placed on high alert for flooding after the Yamuna River flowing through the megacity recorded its highest level since 1978. Number 8. Terrifying flash flood in North America. Torrential rains, followed by flash floods in the northeast of the United States, caused rivers to overflow their banks and wash away many roads in the early days of July 2023. Authorities are trying to rescue trapped people. More than 13 million people in many areas, from New York State on the East Coast to areas in the Northeast, are under flood monitoring and warning. According to preliminary estimates, the flash flood caused damage worth $3 to $5 billion US. More than 1,000 flights to and from airports across the Northeast have been delayed or cancelled due to heavy rain. New York and Vermont are the two states hardest hit. Railroad operator Amtrak has suspended passenger trains between Albany and New York City after flooding damaged the tracks. The town of Stormville, 80 kilometers northeast of New York City, also recorded up to 200 millimeters of rain in 2 days. Floods washed away a woman in this town. Parts of Vermont have seen between 170 to 200 millimeters of rain, turning many streets into rivers. Vermont police said about 20 roads in the state were closed. The Vermont state government has appealed for assistance. Photos and videos posted on social media showed floodwaters washing away many bridges and roads, leaving many houses inundated. Vehicles were swept away and severely damaged. It can be said that the flash floods are extremely dangerous disasters that cause great damage to people. Faced with this situation, people become very small and helpless. However, after all, people still try to find ways to rebuild and bring life back to normal. That is how humans cope with the harness of nature. What do you think about the terrible flash floods in the video above? Please share them with everyone in the comment section of this video. Goodbye for now and see you in the next videos on our channel.